How you doing? Guess what? I'm back. I'm back again. Y'all look. If that did the short one, but I'm back again. All right. And this time I'm back with a special guest. Z. I got Z on the line. Can you say hello, Z?
Good morning. How's everybody doing? See you at your service. What can I do? Help you out this morning? Have a little conversation.
Yeah, so we're gonna continue on having this conversation about RFK. You know, sometimes I get mixed up with J, but it's Robert
hmm
Francis Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, I heard in the other podcasts you get confused because there's a lot of them.
Yes.
They've been in the mix a long time.
And like I was saying, the reason that I was bringing him up to the front of the class is because he had been making last week he had been busy with this measles outbreak and just different things like that, and then I was learning about all his weird stories. But like I was
Yeah.
saying, Zach had said to me when I was talking about that, and he said he thought Kennedy, when he hear the name, like, oh, that's good people.
There's supposed to
But
be good name recognition, but it's starting to change.
yeah, so I think the reason that I want to highlight this is because sometimes we hear names and stuff and we just look at the surface of it and say, oh, that's good people.
Yeah, that's what it normally replies. Yeah.
And I was honestly, if he would have stayed in the race, I would have learned more about him as he was, as it would have continued on. But when I first heard his name and that he was running for independent, I was like, that's right up my alley. So I don't got to go with Biden and I ain't got to go with Trump. I can go with Kennedy. And why, oh my, like, what a what a
But that
freaking
was that was part
character.
of his that was part of his niche when he came into on the scene that the Kennedy name was going to lure in those independent voters because he's supposed to be Democrat leaning to the center pretty much. But one of those things, yeah, people really kind of, yeah, like I told you before, he was on the fringes of the whole political arena, but he had worked in the backgrounds in the government before. So the Kennedy name goes back a long time. So that was what he was banking on. But when he didn't get his way with the Democrats, he basically was like, if I'll endorse you and give you my independent votes if you put me on the cabinet, which they said, nah, we don't need this type of energy over here. Be good. So he then in turn went over to Trump's side and said, well, I can, with the Kennedy Jr. stuff, JFK Jr. stuff coming back from the dead, I can get you some votes over this side if you can give me a cabinet position, which Trump, opportunist that he is, said, yeah, let's see how it works out for us. Let's put our heads in the game and see if this break even is going to help me. That's the only reason he got in the door.
So,
But the Democrats didn't want to deposit him because they uttered those weird stories and his, inconsistencies in his delivery of his message. So they was like, "No, we good over here. You too much. You got too much going on." But yeah,
do you think they should have took him or not, though? You think they should have took him? You think it would have made a
he was gonna
difference?
be too risky in the long run. They don't know he wasn't vetted for real for being no president, and once they got digging into his background, all that stuff was gonna come out. They probably just weighed the risk against the benefits of it and said, "Nah, we can't mess with him. He got too much going on." I mean, I was telling you before, like I said, the last Kennedy I remember being a good person was Ted Kennedy, and him and John McCain were buddies, and they go way back when the politicians were still gentlemen, and they acted like that, and it was respect. But I probably felt like they probably felt like he was too much. He had too much going on, and they ran the risk of being a scandal down the road, So they just passed on him.
Yeah, and then too, if Democrats would have promoted him, oh, they all them stories that he got, they would have
Mm-hmm.
used all of that to demise the Democrats, and they would have been like,
Exactly.
it would have been
Trump
a
would have took
bad
all that.
thing. Hmm?
Trump would have took all that stuff and ran with all that bad press he had for the stuff he did back in the day. So they just Trump would have used it to his advantage, and being he on the same team, they just swept it under the rug because that's what they do. Because they like to appeal to the French people and mega, so they like all that controversy and crazy stuff, you know.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
maybe he's not a stupid guy. You talk about all the weird stuff he did, but at one point you got to think these people grew up as millionaires. They were entitled and they did a lot of weird stuff for kicks because they had everything they ever wanted. So they did stupid stuff as teenagers, college students, young adults, 20s, 30s. So that kind of stuff's really not unexpected because they live for the thrill of doing something new because they did everything and had everything handed to them. So any sensible person can write that off as he was young, he was wild, he was a rich kid, he was spoiled. But you have to factor in, is he still like that now because of the way he carries himself in the political field in the political world now is because he basically like a conspiracy theorist type person because of that.
Okay.
So it makes it tricky to deal with him.
And and that's what he said too, pretty much. Like he said with the bear thing, he said he thought it would be humorous. He thought it'd
Yeah,
be funny.
that was what they do for kicks. But
Yeah.
they're not stupid people. I mean, the man got a law degree from Harvard or something, and he went to University of Virginia and got a degree. He passed the bar. Well, he was assistant attorney general at one point in New York or something, but he couldn't pass the bar. So after a year, they kicked him out. So he practiced law, but he turned into an environmental lawyer, and that's how
Okay.
he got into the stuff with the health department and vaccines, because that conspiracy theory stuff started kicking in with
So
him.
he might be a little bit qualified, huh? He might be qualified.
They're not stupid, but the thing that messed these people up, these politicians, is that they come in here with these degrees and they educated, but they use that stuff like lawyers. Most of those politicians, congressmen, and senators start out as lawyers, so they know the law. They know what they can get away with and what parts of the law they can manipulate to their advantage. So then they get power hungry, power drunk, and start seeing how they slide these envelopes in the back rooms, across tables. If you do this, we do that. The payola stuff and pay to play, and they get swept up in the whole power, money, respect thing. And then if they got people in their ear like Trump, or they got somebody in their ear like Biden, it all you know takes them down different paths depending on how much integrity they have. But I think
Okay.
all these people start out good. And I mean, maybe I think they idealistic in the beginning when they come out of college, but it all depends on who paying the most money and what kind of influence you have, which way they push you or pull you, and it all depends on your integrity, which way you go.
Mhm.
Because I mean, they got people like Obama that went down this path, but if he had got entangled in the right people and the right numbers was talked about, he could have very well had him be one of those Uncle Tom Republicans, but his integrity went out. So the thing with him, with Kennedy, I think he started out a rich kid with a little agenda. He was following his forefathers, his ancestors, the people in front of him, Kennedy's, in a good way, because he started out being against additives in food and anti-vaccine, and he used to be like fighting against this thing called GRAS. It's an acronym for generally recognized as safe. That's a whole entity, like
Mhm.
like like the people who govern over the food
Mhm.
safety. So he was like, he thought that they were allowing too many additives into the food. Like in our country, I think they allow 14,000 types of additives and seasonings and stuff that's not even legal overseas. Like in Europe, it's 400. In America, it's 14,000 ingredients they able to use. He was fighting against all that. He was for like incentivizing people to eat healthier, opposed to giving them a diabetic. What's that thing they put on their arm now? Like watch your sugar intake and stuff. These little things you stick on your arm is the patch.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So stuff like that. He's like he felt like it's better to pay people to be healthy. And he felt like government should help you if you're sick. Like if you're born with brain cancer as a child, they say the government should take care of you. But he's saying if you grow up to be an adult and start smoking and get lung cancer, the government shouldn't pay for that. So it is a
That's what
weird
he's
thing people
saying
don't know about
now.
him.
That's what he's saying
That's
now.
that's that's basically what his whole platform was built on, health, but he's more of a holistic type of healer or try natural things first. And if you sick because of without beyond your control, like you born with something, or you come, or you get lupus, you should be taken care of by the government. But if you, like I said, if you smoke 2 packs a day for 20 years and you have probable lung cancer, he don't feel like the government should pay for that because you brought it on yourself. It's like he's a health judge or something. I
I
don't
mean,
know
but
how to
who helped
explain it.
him? Who helped him with his adversities?
I don't know. He's supposed to have some type of speech impediment, but it's basically because he has this involuntary muscle spasm type of issue. That's why he talks the way he does. The type of problem he has is it affects his vocal cords. And he claimed he had a brain parasite. He said he claimed he been mercury poison. So he think it's all in the food and the ingredients and vaccines did that to him. But that's more that leading into the conspiracy theory stuff of it. But in general, I mean, he's not a stupid guy. None of these people are stupid. And at the end of the day, he was probably just clawing back a little bit of attention, a little bit of power. He trying to do something because they're Kennedy. Those people, all those Kennedys are rich because they have like a bunch of family trust. And all their money is tied up in the real estate and stock. They really don't do nothing. So to make themselves feel important, they do these kind of things, like try to run and be politicians. I mean, I heard this guy's worth $15 million. So what do you do when you got $15 million in the bank? You don't work. You find something to do with yourself. And when you got a connection like the Kennedys had, you kind of just fall into that groove. Most of those people who politicians, big time, high, top end politicians like Obama, everybody, a lot of people come from money, and they get these Ivy League degrees, and then they don't know what to do with themselves, so they get into politics because it's all about the thrill of the power and the fight. Some of them start out with good intentions, fighting for the people, blah blah blah, but usually they wind up going down these rabbit holes and getting sidetracked by whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't mean to talk to you, Dev.
No, no, no.
Your show.
This is good. This is good. Because the more we know, the more we know. You know what I'm saying? The more we
Yeah.
know, the more we know. And
Well, see, people like to say do your research, but nobody has time to get into all this have to go down and these weeds like that. It's like we depending on trust these people to be people in the office to represent us, but they represent themselves for the most part.
mm-hmm.
Their own personal interests and their own personal egos get involved in tangling in that stuff, and then it's all go everything we thought we put them in office for goes out the window.
And they count
But
on us. And they count on us doing that. And they like it's all to me like a plot. They keep us busy. Um but we don't
keep us
have
working
time.
hard, stressing
Mm-hmm.
about bills, worrying about daycare bills and car payments and house notes and taxes and tires on the car, groceries, and price of eggs. Then when that ain't working and it dies down because the economy level's off, they start saying, "Well, Black Lives Matter, transgender rights." Start getting everybody in their feelings about that. There's create new distractions. And when that gets old, and they pull up the Black Lives Matter road and they take down the signs, and they say, "Well, we're gonna pardon these, J6 people. We're gonna pardon this guy that killed dude, with his knee in his back." Then
Mm-hmm.
when that goes away, what's next? The economy is going bad again. It's the Democrats' fault.
Yeah, so I really think they just want to keep us this is my description of it. They want to keep America.
Uh-huh.
And I don't care what your status is. Your status only get to help separate you. But I still feel like the whole America is in this big cage, right? And
Mhm.
we like the mouse or rats or whatever running around. And you got your these ones over here, like the white rats over here, the black rats over here, all these different rats, and they're doing different experiments with them. But the goal is to keep them all in this cage and keep
Yeah,
them controlled. And the white guy, jacket guy, with that's the scientist, which is the president and all his people behind him, looking into this cage of rats and saying, "What should we do next?"
we're an experiment. They
Yeah.
getting rich while they doing the experiment. They said what they call the United States, the experiment of democracy is all experimental. So we
Hmm.
we created a whole nother country to try to do this thing called democracy because they ran from France and England and these kings and overseers and warlords and all this kind of stuff to start come over here, but they brought all that stuff with them for real.
And I don't like it.
Well, it's the power lies in the people, but the people don't realize it. A lot of people they keep us distracted so we don't come to our senses.
I know. And now we look. I look now. I think the people are starting to get it. So Trump is teaching everybody a lesson. So we shall overcome. Look, we
But
shall
but you see what they're doing?
overcome.
They're trying to villainize. They call it being woke now. But they're
Yes.
trying to villainize us coming to our senses. Like the last lady who had the job before Kennedy was a transgender lady, and Biden's cabinet, she was a transgender woman. So that's woke, and they trying to do all. Like I saw the stuff about them trying to get rid of, trying to make Harvard change their policies, and or they're gonna cut them off financially. Like he wanted them to end DEI. They want them to stop hiring black
Yeah,
faculty. This Harvard
Harvard said
University.
they said they might not do it. They might not do it.
Harvard is the pinnacle of the Ivy League schools. So they feel like if they can get Harvard to bend, they're gonna get the rest to follow. Just like they did with these lawyers that were trying to sue Trump. They went after the biggest company that was out to trying to file these lawsuits against Trump, and told them, if you keep trying to sue us, we're gonna change laws to be able to stop you. So they said, we okay, we'll lay off you. So now all these law firms are decided not to ever try to sue Trump no more, and they trying to do the
Oh,
same thing with
so
Harvard.
America is a punk. Look, there's a lot of punks out here.
Apparently so. I mean, Trump holds a lot of power as president, and these executive orders, he controls the military. You have to roll the dice whether he's gonna get these military people to turn on us when it's time for him to do this martial law stuff. We don't really know how much percentage of the military is mega that's willing to go down this rabbit hole with this Civil War stuff and martial law, and people just don't know. The only thing we got going for us is the veterans, retired disabled veterans, pissed, and these people that coming to their senses. These white folks has been protesting because black folks and kind of sat back. We made poured us a glass of yak. We're gonna sit back and watch this show because the black folks been fighting since the civil rights era. So now black folks trying to take a chill pill, and sit back and watch because we did our fight. We didn't elected a black president, a female vice president. We didn't pushed all this, equal opportunity, DEI, civil rights. Our ancestors and people
Hmm.
been fighting for this for 50 years, 60 years,
Well, I
since
don't think
beginning,
we
since
sitting
slavery.
back.
Well, we know that they're trying to bait us right now to come out with these pardoning these ass buttholes
Hmm.
and let these people out. They're trying to trigger us to come out because they want us to start throwing bricks and masking up, and the poo shiesties coming out and throwing bricks at the police so they can justify martial law, and we're not falling for that. They're just trying to bait us in right now. So we gonna let y'all handle this for now. But that came down to the wire. We know how we do.
I mean, what I'm
We
saying,
they've been scared of us ever since Black Panther came out.
yeah. Now, so two things. So when I say that, like we don't have to do the protesting and walk around like that like we used to, but watching how we spend our dollars, that's what we
Exactly.
doing.
That's what we're
We
doing. That's
hitting.
the best thing to do.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people think the boycotts and stuff is not working, but they actually are, and it's hard to get everybody to come together. So the thing is if you go to Walmart and you go to these places that drop DEI, whether you believe in it or not, because this is two different sets of black people going that really believe in Trump and think he does no wrong. And then the other group is like he is dead wrong. And then some people, I'm talking about blacks,
Yeah.
saying it don't matter if we boycott or not, it's not going to change anything. And then it's your other group saying it does change things. So we're divided. To me, just like on the plantation, how it was plans for a lot of times for what you call it, revolts or whatever, like people about to take over, and then somebody go and run and say they planning on master, they planning on doing some they planning on killing you tonight, you know. So, you know,
Yeah,
go and
yes, sir.
tell.
But I mean, they a lot of times those was the ones that the master treated better and gave him a little piece of gave him a piece of pork chop he ate off instead of having to make him eat pig knuckles. He ate a little piece of pork chop. I'm like, there you go, boy. You straight now. You better. You ain't got to go out there in the field. We're gonna let you sit here and fan me all day and sir, yes sir, and fix my horses and ride me to town and sit out and look, put your little top hat on and look feel feel better than everybody else. The same thing they do now.
Hmm.
They throw them
So,
a little bone.
and that's where I think we're coming at, like, and us black folks, and we all need to try to come to one agreement. But if everybody can't come together, we need the majority, at least the majority, to come with us. So
Well,
the boycotts and stuff are working. Like, you can go into Walmart and different places and you see black folks and Targets and stuff, but they are actually losing money though, because the majority of us are not participating.
yeah.
And I
A lot
think,
of us can't because we've been in struggle mode for the last 10 years.
yeah,
And the
and
people who really got money are the people who educated that they feel like they can sway a little bit easier on their side. Because they're not gonna sacrifice themselves because they think they made it.
but he messing with them though.
Yeah, they feel the pinch because everything's high. The housing, mortgages, food. So they ain't, even when they thought they were doing better than the average black person, they starting to feel it. The little degrees don't mean nothing when they're getting laid off or they're cutting hours or everything's expensive. They're getting a slight reality check too.
And that's why, and it's spreading out now. It's spreading out beyond blackness. Now it's just spreading out. What it's just the human race itself. So
Well, Trump them doing themselves a disservice by just being able. They can't just let it simmer in the success they have and they rub it in our faces like they ruined everybody's 401s and everybody lost all this money. Regular working people, regular white folks who banked on this money at some point to retire or pay off the house and whatever. They over there, all their stocks crashed. Everybody lost their money, and Trump and them rich friends sat around waiting for this. The stock is bad. They get to, you know, go in while the price is low and buy and build up, and then the stock eventually goes back up. It always does. They try to scare everybody into selling off their stock for real. I think that stuff was planned out that way. So the rich
yeah,
people
they
come in and
want to
swoop and
send
make a billions of
Marjorie
dollars in a
Green
day because they
Taylor.
buying it up.
They said she need to go to jail.
Who?
Marjorie
Oh,
Green Taylor,
well,
like
even in it,
mhm.
that's true. They should. It's insider trading, but Nancy Pelosi guilty of it too. She worth $400 million, and she's been doing this for 30 years, 40 years almost. Yeah, they all do it. When you first put me out, like I watched and paid attention when AOC and the little crew she had, all of them came in, them new congressmen and stuff, they all
Mhm.
representatives. They all came in with this big fight. I told you I might have bitches out of other people, but they come in with this. We're gonna change the world. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna fight against that. And what are you at now? Give them. I said, give them 2, 3 years. Let them do a term, learn the ropes. Once they get reelected, they go sit down too, and they say, "Well, I get basically get the same tips they get at these little meetings and these little 5-star restaurants where they get open reservations to go eat lunch. And these lunches they do, they start getting the tips too. And like, well, AOC probably worth 10 times what she was. She was just a broke little waitress when she got elected. I bet you she worth millions of dollars now, and they only make 200,000 a year. And you had to deduct after taxes and bills. They still become millionaires in the course of their first term or two because
Mhm.
they all in the same bed.
And
And
that's
but
a
like I said, once they get themselves together and start figuring out the game and making money and getting these stock tips and the insider stuff and can influence the laws to make the money, they all start going to sit down and they just get in line.
well, you know what? That is very interesting, and that was very good. You did very good on your first round. You did good.
Well, I know that you introduced me as Z, but I'm not no political analyst. I don't have no degree in political science or nothing. But I've been watching politics, listening to politics for a long time because I'm a truck driver by trade. So I just go out to these little rural areas where I run out of radio. The only thing I could get is AM channels, and I would listen to the political talk shows, backwoods brainwashing talk shows they used to have. And I used to hear them call out these names and Senator this and Congress that, and watch them, listen to them argue and debate on the floor. And I would just go home at night and try to figure out, put a face with a name. And after I started putting these faces with these names, it piqued my interest, and I kind of grew from that. So I've been following politics low key for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
To him tend to be, but I've seen I've seen it change and go from bad to worse. So I mean, I just got it from the average person. The worst.
Well, I definitely would love for you
Just think
to.
I'm no,
Well, on this show,
but I appreciate the opportunity to kick it with you.
thank you, and I'd like to have you back because here, what we do is talk about politics on a local level. Like sometimes if you listen, like say you listen to these shows, like I know you listen to like all them big shows and stuff like that, and if you don't know the terminology, know what the positions are, know who the key players are and stuff, sometimes it's just like, what are they talking about,
Yeah, but it's
so
like a civil duty that you should enlighten yourself on what's going on because they make it all the decisions is just gonna change your life for good or bad, and it's just good to follow. There ain't much you can do to stop it other than vote or protest or complain,
yeah, but
but
we
at
got
least
the
you know.
power. We got the power, so we first of all, we need to become engaged and need to know and then do all that we can. So like like to know that to me, the system, what you just said, like with the lawyers and stuff, nobody want to stand up to him. Cause I'm like, can he really get away with this? Where are the lawyers at? Where are the Congress people? Where's everybody at cause we the people, we have rights too, but we need the people that we voted in. We need everybody to stand up with us too and
Yeah.
pass the laws in Congress and stuff. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, we got the governor's race that's about to happen. So we need to get in and vote for the governor, the lieutenant governor, your Senate people, your delegates, and like try to put the right people in instead of sitting the couch or not voting and just letting the Republicans just have the whole thing because he's gonna put in all his loyal people, loyalists. But if you
Mm-hmm.
vote, if you at least try to vote in the Democrats, then we can at least try to hold them accountable and say, hey, we voted you in for you to be a backbone and stand up and say, I'm voting against it. My people are not for it, and I represent the people because they voted me here. So,
Well, not to cut you off, but
mm,
they trying to fix that so you can't even vote. If we get everybody to vote, they changing the laws every day about who can vote. They just changed the law where women who get married can't vote unless they have a passport because their name don't match the ID on on the
it
register.
passed.
Yeah, from my understanding, it did, and it's like they trying to red line and change
That's
the districts
and
and
how did that pass? How did the women? There's a lot of women in
well they
Congress.
they all on the same team, and they got to go with the flow sometimes because they like if you don't, Trump's gonna blackball you. You gonna get primaried or something, and you'll be out of a career.
That's crazy.
So it's
So
like self-preservation is keeping them from doing the right thing.
can we do that? Can you look into that? I'll look into it too, and we'll make our next show, our next talk time. That's what we call it. Next talk time. Um, I want to see this. Like, can we get some proof about you saying I heard it? I thought it was just speculation, like something they.
I've been distracted the last couple of days, but I'm almost certain that they passed that bill. If it didn't make it through the Senate, it probably made it to the House.
Yeah,
So
we need to be stopping this. So you saying if you are a woman and you're married, your name need to be your married name?
No, usually your voter registration and your ID pretty much match. Now they changed it to where your voter registration is irrelevant to those women. You have to have a passport, which because like somebody's name is whatever today, and they got married tomorrow, their voter registration not gonna match when they go back unless they. You have to have a passport in order for your passport to match the voter registration.
Everybody don't even have a
Name.
passport.
It used to be you bring a certificate or two forms of ID. Now it's like they want you to have a passport. And women who marry and their last name changed,
I
you have
mean,
to have a
but
passport now.
what if you don't have a passport? You got to go get a passport.
Yeah, technically, from what I'm understanding, as of this point, however the level is just passed on right now, you had to go get a passport if you got married since your last election and your voter registration doesn't match your ID now because your last name changed. You have to have a passport and an ID.
That's crazy.
That's for married women in general. So white folks, like I said, vote against their own interests as far as this mega stuff goes. They didn't plan for all this. They didn't see that coming. But they got the power now and they abusing it. And they changing everything they can because of the next election. I mean, even if it is if we even a country in 4 years with Trump, who knows if it's gonna be another election? He probably might do that martial law stuff and be like Putin and never have another election again. Or I mean, we're still up in the air whether Elon manipulated the machines with his X stuff and his hackers because he won all those swing states. Nobody
He
expected him to
did.
win. He won all the swing states.
He
And they even
did.
hinted
And I
about
think
you don't even have to vote anymore after the day. Once you elect me, you never have to vote again. So they still ain't figured that out yet.
he did. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, if he could pull it off, he would do it.
Yeah. So I think he did. Um, and I think Harris. I like to say her last name 'cause I have a hard time with her first name. Harris.
Yeah.
Um, she conceded too fast too. Like the same
No,
day.
they had rumors that they had evidence he had this, did that, but then all of a sudden, a couple days later, they just dropped it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have never to this
Like,
day. If she would have won,
like
he wouldn't have never conceded. He'll still be like,
yeah,
I supposed to be
he
president.
never
They cheated.
he never admitted he lost. He never admitted he lost to Biden. 4 years
Yeah.
went by, he still wouldn't admit that he lost.
So she shouldn't have never I wouldn't have never did that. Cause even if it come to find out, that's what I heard, you know, um,
Yeah,
that you don't supposed to. I mean, well you can, but once you do, it's done, whether he cheated or not. Cause she conceded. So and he wouldn't have never done that. And she did it the same day. Like she couldn't wait. I wouldn't have never did it. I wouldn't have never did it. She's a Libra like me. She wouldn't have. I wouldn't have never did it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's going on behind the scenes to make her concede it. I don't think she wanted to, but I guess the high ups and whoever's told her this is all. Your hands tied at the moment. And they talked about her trying to you know, make a run for to come back and come with something for like a month after that. But then everybody just stopped talking about it.
Yeah. So I
So
mean,
hard to say.
this thing can go on and on and on. So, but we 30 minutes, 34 and 26 seconds, and
Yeah,
still counting.
yeah,
That was good. I think we covered some good information, and we know a little bit more. And we always keep the lines open for other people to join the conversation. So anybody that's out there that's listening that would like to have a say in the conversation, because that's what it is. It's open dialogue. Always feel free to go into the comments and say, hey, I like to speak. Or you can just write stuff in the comments and stuff like that. But in between time, don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that bell button and stuff like that so that this show has the opportunity to grow. And I
yes, ma'am.
like it.
And,
Do you like it?
shout out to the Baker Man. I'll be checking him out.
Okay, shout out to Baker Man. Uh, And I think it'll be good too. I like to bring you back on where with Baker Man and Z and me and anybody else. Sometimes when you go to these channels, you see like 10 and 15 people on the panel. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
we definitely got room to add on. So I would like to bring you back on with Baker Man. I would like to explore and find out whether or not they really pass this or not. Because honestly, too, we have to stay in the know. Because to me, they'll try to keep that on the hush. As it's like we make it public so that people can know, but we won't push it that they won't know. So when it comes time to vote, and you can't even vote because you haven't done the right thing, and then you go, I ain't know nothing about that. But actually, you can know. So, and I think you can look into like Senate.com, House.com, Congress.com, um, all of these places, and follow these things.
Yeah, I mean, much as much stuff they got going on, we should have our own network system of information anyway, because they're gonna try to keep it from us. There's got to be somebody on top of this, and that's what I feel like you're doing. So everybody you're listening under your ears, within earshot of you, going to at least hear about it. So it's like one person at a time. One person can change things. It takes one person.
I like that. So, and maybe we can do that because I actually do have a website. I need to upgrade it, but it's TanyaBrownStrong.com. That's the name of my website. TanyaBrownStrong.com.
All right,
And
all right.
I could put simplify. Look, I can't get the word out. Things like new laws that come in,
Yeah,
and just plain and simple. So that's one thing, and we can put it in the community board and stuff. But that's I think the next one of the topics. Can the women
all right.
vote? Do they need these passports and stuff? Because you can go up to the polling vote, the voting poll, and not be able to vote, and then people gonna get angry. But you can't get angry because it's there for you.
Yeah, they're gonna let you know, but it's gonna be a month before elections when they start talking about it, because that's what they do.
And then it's
Because
gonna be
they're gonna try to sandbag the information until it's too late, and it takes what 6 weeks to get a passport, something like that.
backed up. It's gonna be backed up.
Yeah, that's how they always do it. You know,
And then who? Some people can't afford to get a passport. That thing costs
but
money.
they had the wrong people running these campaigns. They had these political analysts and political strategists trying to run these campaigns, but they don't really. Them people are overthinking all this stuff. People real simple and easy to communicate with if you keep it simple. These people they hide with these fancy degrees trying to outdo the other person that's working on the team and all that. They really just all in the weeds. But they really need to keep it simple. But they had the wrong people with the wrong type of mindset running these campaigns and doing this strategizing for them. They just don't. They need to call a regular grassroots type of person to do this stuff instead of these educated, overthinking, competitive people that's all trying to outshine each other and they really got their own little personal agendas and they got ego problems inside their little clique. So they don't get their message across.
Okay. So we're gonna work on that. That's what today. So we hope you got a message today. Did you people get a message out there? And I don't mean to be like that, you people, but did you all? Because I'm one of the you people. So did you all get the message out there today?
Yeah.
And
All right. Well, I'm about to jump off here. I'm gonna let you sign off.
okay, I'm getting ready to close out too. Need to get to work. Um, I think I want to close out what they're trying to control us.
Okay.
All
Yes, ma'am.
right.
All right. Well, I'm out.
Thank you very
Appreciate the
much. You did a
time.
great job.
Thank you, ma'am.
Uh,
Now have a good one.
okay, talk to you later.
All right.
Be
Bye.
safe.
All right.
Bye. Oh, I'm trying to close you out with a video. Let's see if I can do it.
I don't fit in the mold, so they try to break me. They can't make me a slave, so they try to hang me. But that shit can't be stopped, and that's why they hate me. All my life, I wonder why they God create me. But I know now, when I'm full now, I'm ready, I'm playing my role now. I doubted myself, but I'm showed now. Devil arming itself for the showdown in this war now. Where the killers at? Probably cooling somewhere in the set. As long as God don't intervene, what a better way, I won't interject. But one day we gon' find the light. Every day I say remember that. Every day we get put away like an animal caught up in the net. Every day I gotta medicate with this antidote used to kill the stress. Blowing trees got me feeling blessed. Lord Jesus, I'm feeling blessed. Been a hard season, but we still adjust. I tried to tell them I'm different. I tried to tell them that I had the key to the truth from my vision, but they didn't listen. I came with a mission. Make sure the word realist is right by my name when you mention. I aim for the ceiling, shooting for the top, bang, I'ma kill it. Pray for a minute, pray for a minute. Pray that my people make it back home safely for dinner. Pray that I get it, pray that even when they get in my way, I'ma come out the winner. Cause I know the devil, he clouded my soul up. I know that he trying to control us. I know that he trying to control us. I know that he trying to control us. Still I gotta stack my dough up. Still I gotta hit my bros up. Still I gotta keep the pole tucked. You know that he trying to control us. 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 Still I gotta stack my dough up. Still I gotta hit my bros up. Still I gotta keep the pole tucked. You know that he trying to control us. I gotta get it, I gotta get it. I got the ticket and I admit it. Every second and minute I got the picture in my head. It's so vivid, a godly image. I've been hoping for change. I've been smoking in the rain, tired of coping with the pain, going deranged, trying to open up my brain so I could overcome these chains. I never complain. I'm just rolling with the waves. You never know what it could bring. I look in the mirror, I'm the only one to blame. The heavens holding up my name and I'm just a sinner. Still I'm caught up in my ways. I put my soul up on this page. I never forget the memories for them days, and still it never be the same. But they gon' remember my legacy when I fade. I'm something that they gotta learn about. I look at the world and it's burning down, so I roll up a blunt just to burn it down. My mission calling and I heard the sound. Got my soul on fire like a furnace now. If you had the chance, would you turn it down? Looking God in the face and just turn around. Praying for the people with no vision to tell. They live in the veil and really trying to send us to hell. We live in the hell already, but still I prevail. They wishing to fail. My destiny just sitting in a cell. I'm in a fight for my life and I'm willing to kill. This isn't a drill. You get into the myth that I'm real. This life is driving me crazy. It's a negative trail. The devil trying to break me, but he know I never been frail. This King Tut. The devil, he clouded my soul up. I know that he trying to control us. I know that he trying to control us. I know that he trying to control us. Still I gotta stack my dough up. Still I gotta hit my bros up. Still I gotta keep the pole tucked. You know that he trying to control us. 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 Still I gotta stack my dough up. Still I gotta hit my bros up. Still I gotta keep the pole tucked. You know that he trying to control us.